Okay, everybody, it's 11:30 on the Eastern Time Zone, and we're going to roll that tape back because I love my theme song. And you're on the air with Purple Smurf 13, and I got JB with me. We're going to be drawing. Tonight's topic is Kick-Ass Ladies and Women of Anime. We're hopefully going to have with us the mangaka mom herself, Carla Tornielli. But if she doesn't show, that's okay too, because she's a new mom. And just getting a good night's sleep is an accomplishment when you have a kid in the house at under 6 or 7 months old. I'm a parent. JB's a parent too. So it's all understood. Hopefully she'll come and talk to us, but if not, we'll have a good time. I know we'll probably have some nice people in the chat. Maybe have some people just drop in and draw with us live too. Who knows? But also we'll talk about what campaigns are going on right now. I think Star Circuit launched today, and in my opinion, that looks amazing. I took like one look at that art and I said yes. I just think the way that the characters have this sort of like elongated and streamlined and blowing in the wind kind of elongated look, and the colors just looks amazing. I like a cyberpunk book that's colorful, right? Instead of a cyberpunk book where it's always gray and rainy. So hats off to Mr. Katapano, the artist of Star Circuit. Hope you have a great campaign. I will definitely be back. Might have someone from Zade Studios come by and draw with us. Who knows? Ryan Wynn might come by, or you just might listen to us talk about what it was like back in the days when comics cost 75 cents and they were available at your local drugstore. You know, one of the things I think about comics is that, you know, I might never in my life have the money, the opportunity to direct a film, but I am directing a film, you know? Tales of Zero is a film, right? It's a B-movie for your mind. It's an escape. It's a thrill ride. So even if comics, some people joke about comics being a Netflix pitch, like it's not a medium in its own way. People just want to go to Hollywood. But I'd take that thing and I flip it exactly backwards. I'm never going to Hollywood. Comics is my Hollywood. I don't need to go there, man. If I can do a comic and tell my movie through this medium, I don't need to make the movie. Special effects in comics are better. You know? We've all seen every CGI explosion. We've all seen every green screen effect we're ever going to see. But you know, when one character punches another character and they go thwack and they go through a wall in a comic book, that never gets old. That's always fresh. And force fields and all the things that, you know, we see in comic books. When your mind is the special effects department, and it's the best special effects department there is. So I look at it this way, that this is my Hollywood. Comics is my Hollywood. These are my movies. If you feel that way too, you're watching the right show. Because one thing we say here on There Will Be Ink is that if you're building your dream, you're on our team. Okay? Support creators, ignore haters. If you're building your dream, you're on our team. You know, we don't do hashtag wars. We just see inspired creators putting their product before the public eye. That's all I need to know, you know? So there, that was our theme song. I thought it came off pretty good. I'm going to start freestyling over it in the weeks ahead, I think. So what are you drawing right now, JB?
Okay, so I'm drawing the main protagonist from Appleseed. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I think it's Junin or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to try it either.
Yeah, right.
not being knowledgeable enough. You know, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Yeah, Appleseed, Bubblegum Crisis, Project AKO.
Oh man,
those were the biggies.
Yeah,
those were the biggies.
Dude, I was so about to do Project AKO, but
yeah,
I'm not good with anime girl. Like, you know, school girls.
I ran this. Well, yeah, it's true. There's kind of a sameness about it, but they were having fun with that. That was the point.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Exactly. They were doing it. You know, they were sending up something that had already become such a cliche. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, there's a video. It is so funny. It's the making of Project AKO.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. Oh God, it is so good.
I've heard. I had seen the making.
It is
I've heard
good.
Different stories about it.
Well, the video I'm talking about, it's made by the Japanese, you know, media or publishers or whoever made the film. You know, so it's promo.
Yeah. Right.
But the musicians who did the soundtrack were in LA. They were American. So it starts in LA, you know, with the Japanese, camera crew in LA be like, we're in LA, we're going to visit the studio where they're making the music. And so you get these like California girls in 1986 or whatever, and they're singing, dance away your sorrow, dance away tomorrow in your dreams. And and it's like you're seeing another time. It's so innocent in its own way. It's like so innocent, These kids are like 20, maybe, these girls. Yeah. And they're like, we're singing this song for like a movie. It's going to come out in Japan. And it's so innocent. It's really good. You just think, oh man, these kids, like, it looks so wholesome.
Right.
You know what I mean? It looks like ridiculously wholesome, even though, and it's a great documentary. And then at one point they go through the whole creative team back when they're back in Japan. Hey, Zaid, Star Circuit is hitting on Bancroft Stream. Good for you, man. We have we have nothing but love for Star Circuit. We want to see them go through the moon. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So Zaid, if you got to bounce back and forth, just tell them that I'm definitely backing. First of all, I've already shouted it out today. I think it's just awesome. Golden tonsils. That's right, ID. Just like me. Oh. So good for Star Circuit. It's going to be massive. I was saying, Zaid, that like cyberpunk books that aren't just gray and rainy. I'm into that. I love the color choices in Star Circuit. It's just awesome. So look what I'm doing. Hey Zaid, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I'm inking a page from Tales of Zero, lightboxing pencils. Isn't that hilarious? Just sort of seeing what it feels like, seeing how long it takes me to do one by hand. So then I'm going to compare that to digital. I was also playing around this idea, Zaid, like do digital inks when they're in the mining colony, and then when they break into the jungle, switch to traditional inks. Wouldn't that be an effect? It would be really, I feel like, kind of cool if, like, when you turn the page and they're in the jungle, all of a sudden the lines look different. So we'll see. Wouldn't that be cool, right? Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. But I'm going to have to time myself. So I'm doing a quick and dirty inking of this page because Matt's pencils are so insanely good. Look, his pencils are better than, like, I'll ever draw. Look at Matt's pencils. Right? They're so good. So everything the inker needs is there, right? So I figure even I could do it. Even I could do it. So anyway, that's what I'm up to. But I also have a couple of anime girls I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw Aphrodia from Baldios. I was saying earlier to JB that she's like the Baroness from G.I. Joe, but the first version, she had green hair, and she was a badass military commander of this planet S1 who's going to destroy the Earth. And she's just awesome. And she always wears her hair up, and she has green sunglasses and green hair. And she's just badass. But as is wont to happen, just like it happened in Robotech with Max and Miria, the ace pilot has to fall in love with the badass enemy. So I think that happens later in the show. Spoiler alert. So I'm going to draw a picture of her with her hair down. And then I might also do one of the most beloved ladies. Hey, ID Crisis, do you want to be on the show with us, ID? You can definitely pop in. I don't know if I send you the link. Just say, put me in the chat, and I'll bring you in. You can be live with us if you want. But I guess one of the most beloved anime females of all time is Fujiko from Lupin the Third.
Yep. And
so I also have a SketchUp of her that I might do. I'd never seen Lupin the Third. I just started watching it a little while ago. It is, wow, it is something. It's like Speed Racer meets James Bond, Yeah. And it has like action, and it has, R-rated content. It's like, wow, they're giving you everything, the full energy.
Have you seen the trailer to the new movie coming out? Or I don't know if it's out already.
It's digital, right? It looks good, really actually. Good. I know. I didn't expect it.
I'm not a fan of CG anime at all, but dude, it looks really good.
Looked good to me too.
I was impressed.
Same with me. I was like, whoa, why does that look good? What did they do? What secret recipe did they find?
Yeah, right.
But the one I'm looking at, the one I'm watching is the very first one. I think it was 1971, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so the animation is not that much more advanced than Speed Racer, right? It's very similar, and it's like the jerkiness of some of the motions. But oh man, it's really fun because it's like I say, it's kind of R-rated. It's kind of like Fast and Furious. It has cars, it has gunfights, and it has chicks. Like it's like unabashedly like an entertainment juggernaut. And so Fujiko is like, she's like this super spy, and she's just as good as Lupin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then every time she comes in, she kind of like gets the thing right out of his hands and then like steals it from him at the last second. She's like his foil, but then he's completely in love with her. And man, the way she's animated in the very first episode, it's like, wow, they made a bombshell, you know?
Right.
It wasn't subtle at all. They made her into a complete bombshell. Even like almost to the point where Marvel's Black Widow looks like a copy of her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know the timeline of that, but I feel like the classic look for Marvel's Black Widow is a whole heck of a lot like Fujiko from Lupin the Third. Oh, you're going to go in the air? All right, cool. Wait. We're going to have somebody. Did I send you the link, Zaid? Yeah, come on. Talk with us. Dance away your sorrows. I mean, baby emergency. Hey, Purple, I'm here. Baby emergency. Oh, she's here? Great. Hold on. We know all about baby emergencies. Are you here? No, that's me. Okay. Carla, let me know if you are able to hear my voice, and click on the live stream link and come in with us. Oh, this is awesome. So we get to talk to Carla Tornielli. She is her self-proclaimed mangaka mom. So she's a manga artist and mom, you know, all in one.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Isn't that great? Now, hold on. Oh, Zaid is in, dude. And I'm looking for you, dude. I'm looking for you. Why don't I see you? All right, maybe can I close this? Okay. All right, Zaid says he's in. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. You're not in. Okay, let me know when you're in. And then Carla, if you can come in too. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry, Zaid. That's all right. No worries. Carla says she's sorry for not being on time. I'm like, I told you, you come when you want to come. You know, one thing I like about this time slot, it's kind of awkward. It's a late night for me, but it's also because, like, you know, maybe we have the opportunity to talk with people in different parts of the country or whatever. So
for sure,
it's kind of like maybe it's equally awkward for everybody.
Dude, how's the weather out there?
Let's see. How can I describe it? We had a lot of snow. It was bleak and gray and cold, freezing rain most of the weekend. But today it got to be warm, but still gray and raining. So it hasn't been nice. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But
I'm originally from Texas, man. They're getting hit hard.
I know, it's wild, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I live in the Boston area, and I live near the ocean, and we usually get insulated. It's so funny. Boston can get slammed with all this. I mean, Massachusetts can get slammed, but when you're right near the ocean, you kind of have a cushion. I think the ocean keeps the air temps a little warmer.
Right. Yeah.
So we usually avoid the worst of it right here by the water. Jeremy, glad you're with us.
Hey guys, how are you all doing?
Doing good. We were just saying how much we love your art, man.
Oh, thank you very much. And yeah, I live by the ocean too ever since I was 18. So went to college at Savannah College of Art and Design, and then went back to Kentucky to live after that, and then moved out to California on a whim without a job, lived in garages, worked my butt off, and then came to Florida and started working for games. So I love the water.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Florida's kind of like the Wild West, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like anything can happen in Florida.
Anything can happen.
That's the point. Like a guy can come into the store like riding a llama and like get a pack of cigarettes, and everyone's like, "Yep." Right? Florida.
Yeah.
We're thinking of moving to Florida, seriously.
Yeah, well, you know, in Kentucky, you would have the guy pull up to the gas stations with the riding lawnmower. I mean, so
Florida just does it with a little more panache, you know. I mean,
that's a polite way of saying it.
I grew up in rural areas too, so yeah, I've seen it all. I've seen lawnmowers, seen it all.
Tractors.
Yeah. In fact, it's like, you know, there's that permission, there's that grace that's been given to you when it's okay for your child to ride a 4-wheeler ATV on the road.
Yeah,
like there's some communities where that raises no eyebrows, And that's when you know you've reached a certain level of America. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
A child goes by unsupervised on ATV on a 45-mile-an-hour country road. You're like, yep.
Yeah.
I know where we are now.
It was great growing up around areas like that, especially like in the times of the N64, like Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and it's like first time you get out there on a Hyrule field, and then you have fields like that right next door. So, you know, growing up with that kind of, yeah, those areas are really fun to be in. I haven't been very rural too often since, but
yeah, well, you know, I try, you know, I'm in the New England area. If you travel up in Vermont, it's like,
oh yeah,
you're like, new, kick, and you're like, oh, my cell phone just quit. And that's
how's
it.
the weather?
That's it though. Like when you're traveling in Vermont, you'll be ready. Like your phone will stop working. Like there's no coverage.
Yeah,
that's just how it is. And like that's a feeling. People are like, what? What do you mean no coverage? No coverage, dude.
They're wanting to put it all on the moon, and they can't get coverage in certain areas. You know.
Yeah. So it's just funny how, like, you know, you get out into the country, and it's like, no, we don't have that here. We don't have Wi-Fi. No, we don't even have cell towers, dude. But I like where I live now. I live in Greater Boston, and we get you know, I love the culture here. You know, we have every culture on Earth is here because it's such a big like college area. So we have, you know, every community, every language. It's awesome.
Pabst Blue Ribbon bars.
Yeah, Gansett. If you want some, you know, cheap drinking beer, we have Narragansett. Nice. Pabst Blue Ribbon, yeah, good stuff.
I guest spot tattooed at Quad Cities, and the guy I was with used to tattoo out in Boston. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Dude, you got to go check that place out." I gotta say, it's a city I haven't checked out yet.
Oh, it's really great. It's really great.
Been to a bunch of places.
People are pretty unfriendly, and once you realize that that's just their way of being friendly, it all makes sense again. You know what I mean? You just gotta realize, like, no, that's actually just the way they say hi. Like, it's fine. It's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a great way to be.
Yeah, it's like Beverly Hillbillies. They go in and everyone's flipping them the bird, and they're like, "Hello."
Hey. Yeah. Now Boston is great. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great town, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot there. I feel like there may be like a little bit of a cadre of Boston-based artists in the little indie comics universe, but none of them are admitting it. You know, they're all like new, and then I see them drop a little hint. I'm like, oh. You know, like Peter Simiti, he's got like New Hampshire on lockdown, right? So it's like we're locking down all the New England states. So White Cat Comics in the chat is Carla Tornielli, and we're so glad you're here. She's hanging out with the family watching TV, so she can't be on live with us. But yeah, jump in with your comments, and then we'll open your campaign page at some point, Carla, and we'll just get some eyes on that. You know, for the 10 people that are listening. Hey, Edwin the Ace, glad you're here, man. Congratulations on your book. It looks fantastic. I know you fully funded and all that. Now you're working on stretch goals. But it's nice to see people here.
Yeah, Edwin was on Art Bros with us, and he hit his goal.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it's sort of like I was saying, we're living in the world of the base hit right now. Like if you've never rolled out a book and you do it and you fulfill it and people like it, a base hit is a home run. You know what I mean?
I got 2 of his coming to me, so I backed him. I was one of the guys. I was like, dude, that shark reminds me of Street Sharks. So
that's what I was thinking too.
No, I do appreciate when you have that absurd, that kind of like, all right, we've got a guy, he's got armor. Okay, yeah. He's battling a giant shark. Okay, you have me now. Like that's that level. Yeah. Of just clicks over like, now I need to see this. You know. It's so funny when I'm doing this thing and I'm on this show and I'm just like doing what I'm doing now, which is like endless inking. I get lost in it. I'm doing this alien city now. I swear I could do this for 6 hours and never look at the chat and never talk to my guests, and it'll be a great show. It'll be broadcasting magic. So check it out. Look at this alien city. It's really freaking coming together.
Yeah.
Dude,
see.
Yeah, see. You know what's one of the best tools that professional artists should really get into someday is the BIC we all used in high school. What a great, God, it's so versatile, you know? If we're doing light gray tones,
especially if they dry out a little bit.
Oh, I know. You can go over it like 10 times and it barely leaves anything, which is perfect. When you're trying to get these light tones. Yes. Oh my God, hatching with Sting is like a dream. It's like a Copic marker, you know? It leaves this gray film. You know, instead of ink, it just like kind of ekes out a gray film. And sometimes that's exactly what you want. Is that gray film. And I'm doing a lot of that gray film right now. All right. So, you know, it's too bad that Carla can't be like, she could have an earpiece on while she's watching TV and like cup her hand and be like, I'm secretly on the show with you guys. But I want to know more about her process because, you know, one of the things my guest next week, you guys, I will announce this right here. My guest next week. My guest next week is going to be Dan Sakaro and Matt Tren. I don't know if you guys know, but they're both involved in the Mythoverse. And so I've been following them for a long time. They're doing the thing, you know, they're in their 3rd, 4th year of like build their own IP, build their own interconnected comics whose characters cross over into different projects and stuff. So Dan Sakaro's main book is called Adobe Kroger Dame Commander. And then Matt Trin, he has like Mythics 2, Mythics, and what's his other one? You know, with like Maeve McKinnon. So they just have their own universe, their own OCs, and they're just doing it. They're building the dream. And so I thought it'd be fun because I think there's some anime influence in what Dan's artist is doing. And then so I want to talk to Carla too, because there's the whole choice of like, let's say you're going to do a manga influence comic, right? And Carla, feel free to jump in. You're not allowed to go spoilers. All right. So yeah, it's supposed to look like Machu Picchu. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, a little bit of Machu Picchu and a little bit of what's the town? The one.
Tiwanaku.
Yeah, or the one on the Yucatan with the tower. Is it Tulum or? Yeah, it definitely has a Mayan thing too. The one that has the tower. Is it Tulum or anyway? One of the ones on the Yucatan as well. So, but anyway, so you know, there's a whole zone of like, let's say you're going to do manga-inspired comics, but they're not manga, right? So you're gonna read right to left. You're gonna, you know, what are the conventions that you want to or are willing to take from manga, and which are the ones that you don't want to and are unwilling to take? And just the idea of the way that every creative team could make that choice differently. That just opens up so many possibilities, I think, you know? So I feel like there's a whole world of manga influenced or manga, you know, inspired comics that don't have to be one or the other. They can be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And right now, what was somebody saying on a stream the other day that like the biggest, I don't know what stream I heard this on, but the biggest selling comic of all time was like, you know, Jim Lee X-Men #1 or whatever. And it sold 3 million. And then they were saying, forgive me if I don't know the title, but I think it might be Demon Slayer. Is that right? The manga that just came out, it sold 300 million.
No.
So how you like them apples, Marvel? You know what I mean? Just think about that order of magnitude. Like the biggest thing you've ever done is 3 million, and it was like 1991. So that was almost 30 years ago. So like, you know, we once had a book 30 years ago that sold 3 million copies. And meanwhile, in Japan, they're like, yeah, we did 300 million when 2 months ago. So definitely there's a lot to learn from manga, and a lot, if you're looking, you know, since we are all sequential storytellers, it's like, man, you know?
You know, for me, it's Sakuga animation is so beautiful to look at. And also, I mean, just animation in general with anime and manga is about the economy of what you're dealing with. So all the money for the production goes into the high action scenes, and they're so fluid with all the colors and the special effects. And man, I love Studio Ghibli for a lot of the cooking and the food scenes that they have, you know. And there's some guy on YouTube that collects or like splices a bunch of videos together. If you just look up Sakuga, SAQU or KUGA, you'll get a whole bunch of the playlist. And for an animator to watch a lot of that stuff is just, eye porn. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, well, anyone who's spent time with me knows that like probably one of the biggest visual influences on me was the Leiji Matsumoto series, like Vanguard Ace, Star Blazers, Star Singer. I saw all those as a kid, and man, that style will always be in my DNA. Just moved me as a child, and it moves me to this very day. I think I just heard my little girl, so if I have to disappear for a little while, you guys keep it lively. All right. So she says you definitely have to watch the action scenes and knife fights. All right, cool. Yeah, you know what? I was talking to somebody about how like in maybe even in One Punch Man and others, where like if the character is medium distance from you, they're pretty streamlined, and then when the character moves close to the camera, you see all the texture on their face. There's those planes of detail. I love that. Oh, you guys, you guys be good. I gotta go check on a little kiddo. I'll be back.
Be good. So yeah, how's it going over there?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
Doing all right.
How's the game coming along?
Game's coming fine. On Indiegogo, we're already 10% funded. So we're getting our advertisements and our promos set up. I'm going to be on Lucifer Storm's show on the 26th. And then Publishing Pete, he's just awesome. Such a great guy. Giving me a few shout outs today. And
nice.
So been on his show for about 3 weeks in a row now. So it's it's a great audience, everything like that. And, I'm new to the whole group. I come into this through Joe Catapano, the one doing Starter Circuit. Me and him we're high school buddies, and
man,
we've worked together before too. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, when he said, "Hey," I was bringing up my game idea to him. He's worked on it with me before, way back in the past when I tried to attempt it before. But we were way too young. We all were fresh out of like doing college and stuff. But people get lives, people have kids, ideas fall through. But here we are again. And so but this time he's doing Star Circuit, and I came down. I was like, dude, I'm gonna be doing this game. He's like, well, I'm gonna be doing a comic book. I was like, serious? All right, well, when will you be done? And he says, I'll be done by, Christmas of like 2020. I was like, all right, I'll be done with my prototype and have it on Steam by the time you have your comic up. And I launched my Indiegogo 2 weeks before he did. So, and I'm glad he's finished with his book. I think he said there's a few other things he's wanting to do. I'm excited for him. I've got him on my phone, the stream of his he was with me on my launch day and had him do the Three Amigo dance with me and my programmer brother, because we hit 3,000 during that episode. And it's been fun. It's been a blast. And like I said, I'm new to the group. I actually didn't know quite enough about it because I pretty much dodge politics at all costs, conversation and stuff.
That's smart, man.
And it's not because I don't like talking about it. I just don't like how it can be used as a weapon against you. I'm not trying to do anything. Sure. And we all feel that way, So maybe I just got to toughen up a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, man, just be cool, and just be creative.
Yeah, exactly.
And that seems to be the message here. I mean, I've not heard one lick of anything, but I've already endured a few events online. That was my mistake. That was my mistake.
Right.
But you learn your lessons, and as long as you stay humble with everything, and I believe everything will work itself out. And we're trying. Everything's couldn't be happier, really. I mean, I'm stressed, but who wouldn't be?
Dude, so you only got 2 people on your crew so far?
Yeah, just me and my brother.
Man, that's pretty daunting, man. I mean, well, I know how.
It's also his first video game.
Really?
He's programmed for a job through the military, and then he's worked in wind turbines and stuff. So he programs all their systems. Yeah. So I said, "Hey, man, I've been trying to get some programmers on this, but nobody wants to touch it." Yeah. And he was like, "Well, what do you need?" I was like, "Do you know Unreal?" I don't know. I've got it on the computer. I never really messed with it. I said, "Well, let's sit down." So about 6 hours later, he's got my character running around because I had sprites already made. I had art already made for it.
And this is his first time programming a game? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, it's not my first game, though. I've worked with 2 other companies and really close with them over the years, like very small knit teams. And I've done the art for an entire game, or that was my job, but that fell through. Not my problem. The project just lost funding.
Oh yeah. So, I went to school for game design, but not on the programming track. Just mainly on the art side and the 3D side. But.
Yeah. See, that's what I should have spent my time at SCAD doing, but I did illustration. I thought at the time it was like, oh, they'll hire illustrators to do concept art. Right. And it's like, nah. So again, you learn your lessons, but now I'm well beyond wanting to do concept art. I'm actually doing the in-game animations as well as the the promo art. I'm working right now on some promo art.
Dude, I like that concept. Like, it's like your game is pretty much like 2D, like not 2D, but it's in a 3D engine.
Yeah. It's using the old. If you ever played Daggerfall, the Elder Scrolls game, or like the older ones, like it was a technique. Or what about one of those? What was the racing games that used that Mode 7 effect?
As a F-Zero.
Yeah, F-Zero is a good way. But I was like, that actual technique, I can't claim it because my brother came up with it. I was just wanting to be set up in 3D. Like in a 3D space, but the camera to not take perspective or not track perspective, so it would all just automatically parallax naturally, which would have been a cool trick anyway. But then Dwight was like, "No, let me make the camera look at it like it's 3D." I was like, "Okay," and so we did, and I was like, "All right, yeah, that's what we're doing." So magic happens when you're exploring, and.
That's cool. No, it looks good. Like I really like that look.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. And of course, Final Fantasy games like that have been a huge influence on me. But the biggest one was Hook. Like when I was a kid, the movie Hook.
Oh, dude, okay. I got you. Dude, I loved that movie when I was a kid. I'm wearing a dress shirt because I was having a business meeting earlier, and I had my Bangerang shirt on earlier. Cool.
So, got a whole collection.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm 34, gonna be 35 in September. I'm never really wanted to grow up, and drawing kind of kept me young, so and keeping me that way still. But
yeah, it's pretty nice to still have a dream that you're working on, right?
Yes. It's not easy though. Not easy. I've lived in garages. I've worked in construction, missing a fingertip. I've done a lot. I've table served a lot, so I've had people throw drinks in my face and call me everything under the sun. Yeah, you pay your dues, but it builds character,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
I was going to say, you can have drinks thrown in your face without doing table service if you really know what you're doing. The jokes are free, folks. The jokes don't cost money. They're free. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. Well, I was looking at some of your art, and I'm looking at we sometimes just call each other whatever. Like I don't really know. I just call JB JB. That doesn't mean that's his name at all. People call me Smurf, which is clearly not my name. So we have a naming convention. We just call people whatever. So so I sometimes will refer to you as Zaid when you're not in the room. But what do you like to be called if I was addressing you in this environment?
Zaid or Jeremy, it's Bigums, you know, it's usually
Mr. Bigums.
Yeah, that usually happens when I'm wearing the shades and the fur coat and trolling Joe, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Bigums, yeah. Mr. Bigglesworth. Mr. Bigglesworth from Austin Powers. Because that's how nicknames evolve, right? If you tell me to call you Bigums, then I'm going to call you Bigglesworth, right? That's how the nicknames evolve.
Okay, fine. That's great. That's great. Yeah, right. I'm the cat. That's awesome. Well, with no hair, like that's the other, like that's 2 steps to a mole rat.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm doing this now. I've switched over to the topics, and I'm doing this. I did the pencils on it earlier. Just drew it by eye. It's
sure.
Fujiko from. I'll show you my pencils from Lupin the Third. So here's my pencils, and then I'm going to do Aphrodia from Baldios. I might even bring up the clip of her because she's just a badass character. Like I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
There we go. So I just drew that with a pencil. Fujiko has one of the best. I would say that both these characters, they have like the best introduction to the viewer. Like the way Fujiko's character comes on screen, it's ridiculous. You just think how the word ballsy comes to mind. You know, like how completely fearless were they to do that? You know, to have her. You know, I don't want to spoil it for you. You should watch it sometime. Now, Jeremy, you got something? Can we put it up on the screen here? Let me see.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I just got notified I got a new backer, so woohoo!
Oh, that's good.
Oh, man.
That's me. How do I put you?
Thank you.
Is that what you're working on?
Yeah. I'm so the whole composition. Let me zoom out here. Whole composition is that.
Dude, so, that's insane. I know. I was looking at some of Jeremy's art earlier, and it has layers. You know, that I don't see in comic book art from anybody.
Oh yeah, you were talking about the vantage points. How many?
Well, it's like planes. You can have planes. Like you can say, like, oh, I have a foreground, I have a midground, I have a background.
Right.
If you manage those 3 planes in comic book art really well, it's like magic. Right. But dude, you're looking at 5 to 7 planes, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah. Let's see if I could throw a few more up there. So, yeah, if you really like that stuff, so. Let's see. Flash art. I think I was showing you some character stuff, but
yeah. And also I like the clothes that your characters wear.
Oh, thank you. Again, I mean, I'm trying to, everything's designed out of my head. So I'm trying just to, and of course there's influences, aesthetic, similarities to things.
I'm getting a Chrono Cross vibe from
yeah. So I'm really a big Chrono head.
Oh
too.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
Of course, I don't know any of this, but I'm just gonna be like, yeah. I don't know anything about gaming.
Oh man, and if you're doing like the explorative comic book story, man, a good RPG would do you some good.
Yeah, I was about to say that, man. You should definitely get into some of those RPGs on the Super Nintendo.
Yes. Yeah. They're simple, they're focused. Like Chrono Trigger is hailed because of the way it's made. It's, I think, a 12-hour game if you know what you're doing. I've got books on the subject, including a reverse design game series about how it's built, how it's structured, but it doesn't have all the fluff. Everything you do reinforces the narrative of the characters. So my game is also designed with that in mind, that the game, the mechanics are inspired from the world, from the story I'm trying to tell, but it's been kind of egg before the chicken, scenario. Like they've been symbiotic back and forth with me. And like, so here's a common trope. The female character is the healer. Right. So I'm doing a little trick. It's a trap, but my female, character archetype is a healer, but with an aggression.
like an aggressive healer. It would be like a sabotaging type player, or they'll be using the enemy's techs and skills and the environment against the enemy more so, or draining them for it. But also a healer. But mid-story, she takes a huge, giant character arc twist. It's going to be devastating. So where's the picture I've got of that? Oh, yeah, back in here. Sorry, excuse me. And I was showing you this earlier with the Tulabanya.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your stuff is just, I mean, you talk about Studio Ghibli. I mean, your stuff kind of has that. Like, when you look at Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, the movie, and then the manga. It's like there's something really different about the manga, and your stuff has that like Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind manga feel to it.
Thank you again.
Where it's like there's a haziness to it,
dreamlike, and
the characters are like a little bit like what's the word? Almost like there's a word for it. I can't quite come up with it, but like anime, like on moving pictures, you get the Leiji Matsumoto characters that are elongated. Their legs are way too long. Their fingers are way too long.
Yes.
But Nausicaa and the manga, those characters are kind of stumpy. And there's a whole like stumpy vibe too, which is very cool.
So they are kids. So they're they're a 10-year-old, an 11 and 12-year-old.
Oh, that's
so
fantastic.
I wanted them to be young for that young eyeball in a new world perspective.
That's fantastic.
Okay, Taj has amnesia, and I'm not going to say why, but it allows him to be a good vehicle for the audience to relate to a new world. Instead of and yes, it's a trope, but you can handle it and write it right. You can tropes are there too because they were good.
Yeah, because they're effective.
So and then like I said, we're talking about female anime characters, and so mine with Anel, she hits a heavy character arc where she just becomes badass. So she goes through a whole character arc, wardrobe change, attitude change. This Beckoned is not the only story in this arc. And the last image I'll throw up for you guys, because all this stuff.
Is everyone seeing this? Look at this guy's art. Isn't that something, Carla? I mean, look at that. Do you see what I mean about depth? So let's say that we're like, I'm going to reach in and I'm going to take something from that girl's pocket, right?
Yeah.
Then I could take 5 more steps and I could give that other girl a high five. But then I could take 15 more steps. But then I could walk half a mile. But then could I walk? You see what I mean? Like, planes and planes and planes of depth, dude. I've never seen a comic book with these many planes of depth. So if you ever did like a piece that had some of this vibe, it'd be insane.
Well, with Joe being my art bro, look forward to a comic coming sometime, and I might be doing it, but the focus, of course, is getting the game. Yes. Yeah. There's another one I was just gonna show you.
Glad you're here with us, Carla, even in the chat. I mean, isn't that art something else? It's really just amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do. It's a passion of love. How we are with our projects. So.
Exactly.
I've got so many images, and I'm just sitting here going, "Where the heck? Where was my brain at the last one?"
That's all right. I'm the funny thing, I don't know if we've said this on like, on a stream before, but that's funny though. But, as a kid, besides, Star Blazers or Vanguard Ace or some of those shows that just blew me away as a kid, is I also loved Scooby-Doo. And I not only would watch Scooby-Doo obsessively, but I would really watch whole episodes where I only watched the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Because the background paintings were just like phenomenal. And Johnny Quest was the same way. You could watch Johnny Quest and just watch the background paintings.
Oh, yeah. Johnny Quest was awesome.
God, they were good. So then I'm like, it's funny how everything comes together. You're like, okay, that's fine. I like that. I was like, Leiji Matsumoto, Star Blazers, And then you like find out that, the character designs, for Scooby-Doo were done, by someone who was Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, right. So I'm looking at, at this Fujiko right now, and it's like someone who didn't know would be like, what is that? Some sort of badass version of Daphne? Okay, now, whoa. Look at that. So how do you draw that?
Man.
How do you even draw that, dude?
Well, you got to close your eyes and have an imagination, and you guys are pretty good at doing that part. The next part is sitting in the chair and just spending hours and hours, and then double checking with your art friend. Hey, does this impress you? No. Okay, I'll come back. And that's the other thing is knowing that I was going to be coming out publicly with all this stuff. I mean, I had to bring everything that I've learned over my lifetime doing artwork. So when you're doing something like this, give it everything you got is my best tip. So I guess if you guys haven't really looked at too much of the stuff that I've got on online or
we're getting a good dose of it now. It's just fantastic.
Or anything, the game graphics, for those of you who are not familiar, look like this. And there's layers of depth. This is all sitting in a 3D space. So all of that shifts and moves.
That's so great. See, I did a little bit of a project once where I did manipulated photo backgrounds, and then I drew the characters on top of those manipulated photo backgrounds. And it has exactly like cell animation,
Yeah, well,
realized background, and then you got these two-dimensional characters moving against the realized background, and it looks fantastic. And we all grew up watching stuff like that.
Yeah.
We spent hours of our life watching stuff like that.
And it's hand animated by me, flipbook style, like Disney. I'm actually trying to pull up one of Taj's battle animations now, so you can see kind of how many layers go into that. And not like compositional layers like we were talking about earlier.
I know how animation works. Yeah, it's tons.
Yeah.
Tons.
Combat, Taj battles Brian's attacks. Let's do
this episode of There Will Be is brought to you by the fine people at Big. Try their medium round stick. Available at your local CVS. 25 for $1. This thing is, I'm putting this very fine gray layer, and it's just like music. It's pouring out of the pen. It's not too dark.
No.
The greatest pen of all time.
You almost wanted me to get out of Big. Seriously, if I can find one.
I can't believe, I need to do this super light gray layer, and it's going down like butter. If I used a quality pen, it would go too dark too fast. And it would be all over it, Sorry, Vic, I didn't mean to imply you were anything but quality.
Well, yeah, I was going to show you guys some more stuff, but I'm trying.
I just hang out with this. Are you drawing anything live with this? Why don't you draw?
Yeah. That's what I was. That's what I was working on.
Drawing live. This is a live show, and we only got 40 minutes.
Yeah, I've got the.
You're going to look at some campaigns, maybe.
I got the whole gang in this composition, so it was mainly for female soft touch. So I've got all my female characters up front, and my 3 boys are in the back. So that. I've only got to draw a lane left, splashing up on Taj. Then I'll fudge them out, set them in the background, and then back to this hill of alien plants that I got to finish up. And then I should be done with that.
All right. Well, let's do an art check. I'm going to show you my Fujiko. You guys saw that I just started, 20 minutes ago? So it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I just... light box my own pencils, and now I'm gonna do a Frodia.
Yeah,
but it's this is drawing these animation characters is so fun. I think that the flatness in their perspective is just freaking inspired. All right, ready for this beauty? I don't know if you can see it. Let me see.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this girl, I was telling you, she's like the Baroness. So she always has her hair up. She's the supreme military commander. She has no mercy. She just destroys everybody, but of course, deep inside, she's a woman and she needs to be loved. And so, apparently, at some point, I haven't seen the whole arc, but apparently, she does take her hair down and fall in love with our hero. So, this must be a scene from that because I'm drawing her in a non-militarized mode. But she's just a knockout character. As soon as she's on the screen, you're like, wow, beautiful.
Yes. And I like, very reminiscent of that old 80s anime style on that
I
too.
think this Baldios is from 79 or 81. So yeah, right,
Yeah.
But you know, the Baroness is one of those characters that, like, if you think about G.I. Joe, who the audience was for G.I. Joe, how long it was popular, blah 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 blah. Could you have said, like, back then, you know, that 30 years from now we'll still be talking about the Baroness?
Mm-hmm.
That was not a major character. But I think she had an effect on the voice, and I think that's what it is. You know?
Yeah.
Because she now lives on in people's memories, like, much more than she did at the time, I think. So, yeah, and then it's like, there were some really cool girl characters, too, like Lady J.
Mm-hmm. I was mentioning the anime Armitage 3 to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Record of Lodos Warrior with Deedlit.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
you
man.
know.
I completely, man, I should have done her. I forgot about that character.
Right? So I think they're making some platform Castlevania style game coming out soon with her.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I got to check that out.
Yeah. I forget what the name of the project is, but I have been seeing stuff about it come, flying around. So I was like, ooh, okay. That's an awfully big splash for a kid to be thrown with one arm. This is why Sakuga is so important. You gotta check.
These are super kids, man.
Super kids.
These are heroic kids. And a mystical world.
They munched on all those sensu beans.
These are not ordinary kids.
That's the other one thing. The Kakarot video game. That's fun. It's accurate to the Dragon Ball Z series. It's hyper, focus, but if you're into some old anime style and you want to get into some RPGs, try like the old Breath of Fire series.
Yeah. Dude, Phantasy Star on the Genesis?
Yes.
The art style in that game?
Oh, dude, yeah, right. Phantasy Star 3, dude, that's right up your alley with the art style. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I just thought about, like, dude, that's like totally like that from that era, you know?
That was perfect. Here, I was going to suggest something else. I was like, no, he won. Kings to you. You got it.
Well, I don't know. I think I showed JB this, but I don't know if I showed you that the other day. I bought myself a present of some original anime cells.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, yeah. Did I not show you those?
Ah, man, I'm not even sure.
Yeah, but anyway, so like it's something I kind of wanted to do and just saw the right moment. So I got these cells. One of them is, you know me, I like the slightly obscure giant robot shows from the early 80s. What are you going to do? But so one of them is Erica from Deimos. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's a great freaking robot show. And she's the main female. And it's just amazing to see those things. They handle the animation so, and just see how the paint went down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa, really kind of makes you sit back and think about all the process, and then how many times they had to repeat that process. Yeah. So, and then I got this. I got one of the protagonists from Star Blazers, Derek Wildstar, as we call him in the States.
No,
that one came out really. That one's quite beautiful. And then the girl villain from the season 2 of Star Blazers from the Comet Empire. I think her name in the American version was Queen Invidia.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like any kind of Leiji Matsumoto female character, they all have the same proportions. So it's amazing to see that, him painted. So yeah, but one thing about those anime is like someone hand painted each one of those things.
Yes.
It's amazing, and you see it up close, and you're like, wow, this is insane. Yeah.
I have a dream of growing up to become Miyazaki. Just a new like version of him. Yeah.
Well, you're on your way, man. All the pictures you're showing me, you are on your way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I even got the bad cigarette habit. I just gotta survive long enough. So at least I know it's bad for me, guys. At least I know that. But
there's a lot of things that can kill you as well.
Yes. My thought is how you go out. Wow.
So you can't be telling others how to do it. Just be glad that we got this chance.
But yeah, I mean, my buddy, my best friend, ended up introducing me into anime, and it was with Record of Lodos War and Armitage 3. I back in the day, and then that just kind of set me off on this whole adventure that I had no idea it was going to get me into. You know?
But it's funny because, you know, for my generation, you know, we were like, everybody liked, you know, Transformers, G.I. Joe. People liked Transor Z. They didn't realize it was from 1972 when we were watching it in 1984. We had no idea it was like so out of date, you know, in Japan, but it was so fresh to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was so fresh to us.
Dude, our concept of like cartoons then was just like, you know, Looney Tunes and, you know, that was about it. Like, but then as soon as you see your first anime, it's so adult and like, I don't know, serious.
Yeah, that like Vampire Hunter D.
That was my first. That was when I knew I was watching anime.
Yeah,
like, that was the first one for me.
Yeah, I remember that one as well.
Like we were watching G-Force and like, you know, Speed Racer and stuff like that. But I had no idea that was Japanese animation. Yeah,
you didn't know where that came from. Yeah, G-Force was very popular. It had so many different iterations. You know, it was like it was Battle Planet, but it was also
Battle Planets. Yeah,
this. You know, it had a few different titles. Mm-hmm. And that was also really old too. I actually didn't kind of fully grasp how old that was. You know, I think that was animated maybe even before Mazinger Z. That was done before 1972, and it was being broadcast in the States in the like late 70s, early 80s, and it looked fresh. That's the funny thing; it just looked so cool. You know, the Star Blazers was one of those ones where like things affected the characters and things persisted. You know, and then you had a growth arc. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever watched it obsessively like I have, but you know, Derek Wildstar is that classic character where he comes off and he's like kind of a hothead, and he has a chip on his shoulder. And he blames the captain for everything, blah blah blah. But the captain sees something in him, blah blah blah, blah blah. You know, but wow, the way it's handled. You know, wow, the way that story arc is handled in a show for like 7-year-olds. It really is so solidly achieved that you watch him slowly gain perspective, slowly gain maturity, slowly gain the respect of the people around him, you know, until he, you know, basically takes over for the captain when the captain becomes sick. And it's just like, wow, they really took their time and let him grow into his full self. And then, you know, the captain dies, and he really dies, you know. And it's like you're a 7-year-old watching that in 1982 or whatever, and you're like, oh, shit, dude, the captain just died. Oh. You're not coming back. Like, what?
I'm gonna trigger a few of you with this one if you remember it.
Okay, do it.
Our text from the Never-Ending Story.
Oh man, yeah.
That was a generation.
Dude, I can just watch that clip.
Oh, yeah,
it's like got my heart screaming.
I remember seeing that in like a department store. It was like on the VHS. I was using it to demo the thing, and I turned on and it started seeing him in like the department.
Oh no!
9 years old. I'm like, no! Don't make me cry in public.
Dude, I love the soundtracks of that movie so much.
Yeah.
But the wolf, right? The thing at the end that chases him. That's not terrifying.
The Gamorrean.
You know it's a puppet, but you're scared out of your pants watching that.
Oh, guess what Rockbiter's actual name is in the book?
I don't know.
Bjorn Krakzar.
Yeah, right.
Dude. Yeah, I had to reread that like 4 times and practice it. I was like, how is this like pronounced? And then I'm making my fantasy game, which has all these names and stuff, and I get some
fun comments online. Guys, have your fun. It's great. But like, it looks like his head's hitting the keyboard naming these characters. And it's like, you haven't read a lot, have you?
I know. I got some feedback on a comic I did too, where they were like, well, these characters' names are hard to pronounce. I'm like, people speak Spanish.
Right.
People speak Japanese. Like,
learned to,
vowel consonant. You can say the name. I don't care if it's Arabella Millafilla. It's Arabella Millafilla. Just sound it out. My goodness. Are we like thinking kids can't read?
Oh, they can read if it's in like their favorite video game.
If it's in Star Wars or something like that.
Yeah, Pokemon names. Those are easy to pronounce.
Yeah.
Kids know all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Star Wars characters. How that is. Oh yeah, I really should be promoting campaigns right now. So much fun drawing. This is silly. How you doing? Want to see how I'm doing here?
Yeah. Very clean line.
Yeah, I know. That's what happens when you light box your own pencils. Who knew? The funny thing, I was looking at the animation cell, and it looks like it's like there's a pencil drawing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody lays the cell down. This is what I deduced by looking at it. Somebody lays the cell down face forward. They do the black outline with a brush, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're actually drawing it in reverse because the cell is face down.
Mm-hmm.
Then the painter comes and has to paint the layers on the black so that it all works. So like if the girl's wearing a dress and a shirt, it's like you have to do the shirt and then the dress. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to layer it so that the paint masks the layer you're not working on. And it's like, that's just how we do things on software, Like we do a line drawing and then we like the layering. It's like, we have this technology and we're just doing stuff that's exactly how things used to be done, right? There was a pencil, there was the ink lines, or in this case, paint. And then I do that drawing when I'm coloring with software sometimes. If you just do things right, you don't even need to stencil.
Yeah.
You just know that if you do the hair before the face, then when you do the face, the hair masks the face. And you don't have to like worry. The lines will be clean, right? The colors will overlap beautifully. And so I was looking at how they painted the layers in the animation zone. It's exactly like that. If you just know in advance what order to paint things, then it all looks beautiful. And then you turn the cell over and it's beautiful, So from what I can tell, they're painting it upside down and backwards, right? Because they're painting on the back of the cell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just amazing to look at that. And then they had to bang out, 200 of those.
Oh, I don't know if you guys ever saw Treasure Planet.
Yeah, I saw it, but I haven't seen it recently enough to like re-remember it. But it looked dope when I saw some scenes on it recently.
I don't usually start bragging about Disney movies. This is one of their old ones that was mixing 3D CG with hand drawn.
Yeah.
It's incredible, some of the techniques they were using, and I still take stuff from like the extra content in the DVD where they go behind the scenes, and they had a rule of 30. They call it the 30-70 rule, where they wanted 70% of everything to, as an impression when you glance at it, to look like that old classic Treasure Island aesthetic. But as you get closer to it, 30% of it is this futuristic robotic tech stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, I would say that, without risking hyperbole, that the movie Treasure Island, I think Disney did it in 1960. That's a stone cold classic movie. Like that. That is one of those movies that everything is a riff on that. That's the classic adventure, Luke Skywalker. Mm-hmm. It's like all those great, like set off on a quest, redeem the memory of your father. It's got all the themes and everything. And then Long Done Silver is such a great character.
Oh, did you see what those CG guys did with Mark Hamill?
Which one?
God, what's that group's name? They're all over YouTube where they like do all these special CG effects and just retouch some stuff.
I'll check it out.
But they did a much better deep fake of Mark Hamill. Dude, it was good.
Are those the same guys that did the one for The Irishman?
Yeah,
where they made De Niro's face look like 100 100 times better than the movie. That movie just threw me off so much.
Yeah,
I couldn't watch it.
I couldn't get down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm wasting.
Someone was posting on Facebook the other day, like any movie, one actor, live action actor gets to stay, but the rest are Muppets. Name your movie. And I was like, The Joker, but De Niro stays. So, I was like, Lord of the Rings, but Gandalf or Frodo stays. You know, I was trying to. That would have been a hard one.
Yeah, well, the Muppets can do anything, basically.
Yeah, Muppets Treasure Island. See, full circle. See?
Yeah, that Treasure Island is a great movie. I love it's really amazing. Like, oh yeah, and also I think I saw in a YouTube documentary that you can watch in the middle of the night when you can't sleep, hint, 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 about their matte painter.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Ellenshaw. Wow. Thanks, Google memory. How did I come up with that? Peter Ellenshaw. Oh my God, his life story is amazing, you know? And he was like the main matte painter. And Treasure Island, the entire film was filmed in their lot in Burbank.
Gnarly.
So that use of matte painting to make you think you're in a seaside village, to make you think you're in. So the matte paintings in Treasure Island are insane because you don't even know they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is a matte shot, and you don't even see it. So yeah.
Although like the original Star Wars sections, a lot of those old scenes and stuff were these massive.
Yeah.
Oh,
they all like learned from Ellenshaw, all those guys who did the Star Wars things.
Oh, Dark Crystal, anybody?
Oh man.
Like Jim Henson, the old turtle movies, like the original one. I mean, practical effects.
It looked so believable. Those turtles look like they're living creatures. Like occasionally
the way they move in those suits too.
Yeah. And all the muscle detail on everything, and the shell looked really good.
Yeah. Well, you know what? One of the best films I think in terms of practical effects, and I didn't watch it when it was new because of reasons, is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
If you haven't seen that recently, you should see how much is in camera. Like special effects meant stuff we're going to do while the camera is running, not stuff we did later.
right.
You know, so it's like this stuff is done in camera, and it's so effective because you're grossed out or you're shocked because, dude, they did it in the room. Like, it feels scary and gross because like the people in the room were scared and were grossed out. You know,
That's like a
real
zombie.
effect, you know, it really happened. You know,
Rob Zombie movies do that to me, where you watch them, you just feel like you got to take a shower afterward.
Yeah, right.
All right, I think I'm closing up on this drawing, and I think I'm getting somewhere. Oh,
yeah.
See, she's got
the hatching is great, dude.
Thanks. I know. I'm like practice something for 3 years.
I find for my hatch marks the less perpendicular I can make them. Mm-hmm. Yes, the more layers, but the cleaner the shade, or the gradient. But at the same time, you'll catch me doing, straight on perpendiculars too. So yeah. Exactly.
I just make stuff up on it.
I love it. It's good, dude.
Yeah, because I'm a writer number 1 and a colorist number 2. So anything I do, like a drawing that's this good, for a normal person, this would be like an average drawing. For me, this is outstanding.
It is.
That's a fun thing, because I can be proud of myself because I'm starting from nothing, man.
I had this old Vietnam vet that's carves wood better than Jesus that shows up on our my channel's art streams and Joe's art stream a lot. But he would praise you because his biggest complaint, talk to him nearly every day, is people are just too afraid to try things. They're too afraid to fail. They're too afraid to do it. That's how you learn, So
can we try to spotlight what JB is doing right now? How do I do that? I can figure this out. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. Nope. How do I do that? How do I feature just your screen? I'm going to figure it out. I'm good enough. Smart enough.
Purple Smurf is Googling. He's trying to fix it. Purple Smurf.
Purple Smurf can do it. Already. He's got that. Okay. All right. Can you do it? Can you share your own screen? JB, can you have a button that can make your screen the big screen?
The only thing I share is my computer screen. So I think, hold on, let me see.
Hey, what's up, Kino Subway? Thank you for joining us. Hope you haven't been waiting there too long. Yeah, we're just drawing anime ladies. Just drawing anime ladies. Who's that lady? And then earlier, I inked this. I inked this high school notebook paper style. Yeah, that's going in the book definitely. But just to time myself, see how long it would take me to lightbox somebody else's pencils. Came out pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So, let me turn my camera off and then I'll deduce this. Oh, no. Oh, I think I figured it out. Look at that. Did I do it? Hey, there you go. All right, so show us what you're doing.
Okay, so at first I was working on Appleseed, and then we started talking about regular Lotus War, so I just started doing it deep at the last minute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, show us the Appleseed one if you want to. Somebody here, or is that?
No, that was me, my bad.
Do you have anything from the Appleseed one you want that you can show us, or did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, show us that.
Go back a few pages.
Yeah, I was thinking about I was also thinking about doing Biko in her armored mode, but then I just don't know if I could do that. Cool. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, actually, I see. Like, I'm starting to get familiar. I think with your style a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you do muscles and the way you do. So I can see your style in that.
Cool.
I like the legs too. The legs are solid. I'm not going to use the obvious word.
Yeah, the shape language in that is good.
Thank you.
Oh man. Let's go back to is there anything I can do with my lady here? I might need to do one more lady then. Never done. Who's that lady? Yeah, our prompt the other day was last week was mythology and mecha with Y Holiday, and that got me and JB. We're brainstorming something. We've got something cooking. About mythology and mecha. So I'll let that sit, but I'll say that in some ways it's a little bit like what you're talking about, Zaid, with kids and the dynamic when you have kids as your sort of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
So we have something brewing with that dynamic as well. So
nice. Yeah, it's like I just got visited from a friend of mine from Kentucky who's got a 2-year-old who's in one of those, I forget how they say it, masonry schools or whatever, but he's like, they get to play, they do their own things, they make their own things. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I was like, holy crap. And so we went to the beach and I had to make all kinds of cities out of sand, and he would come up and Godzilla them down just as quick as they could. So he was a bundle of joy. That was a great visit, surprise. But yeah, man, like kids are not just resilient, they're smart. They pick up on things a lot better than we do. And I think having them in an able circumstance is just something that we're not. What kid wants to stay a kid, right? How are you going to sell kids on a product when they're going to stay kids? Mm-hmm. Lots of kids want to grow older. Well, I want them to realize the freedom they have when they're kids, because now you're grown up. You got that same freedom anymore.
It's true. Yeah. Did you ever read Power Pack?
No.
You should. It's really good. Power Pack was made, when Marvel was swinging. It was like 1984, I think, when they started it. And so they had the X-Men was really popular. New Mutants had just come on, and they were like, okay, we did the New Mutants. It's sort of like the teenagers X-Men, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, now we need the elementary school team. And so they came up with a power pack, and it was, I think, aimed at 7 to 12-year-olds or something, you know what I mean? So, and it's really good. It was good back then. I read it back then, you know, because I love the New Mutants. And but now reading it now, it reads like Shakespeare compared to what you could buy at your local LCS. You know, like they didn't treat kids like they were stupid. Like,
Right.
The kids, the way the kids speak to each other, the way the adults speak to the kids, the way that the comic book like assumes that kids can put 1 and 2 together and don't need things spoon fed to them. It's really, really good, and it's full of pop culture references from the time. So like the kids in the power pack, they know about Star Wars, they know about Spider-Man. You know, it's like so the kids reference pop culture even though they're in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great thing, and then each of their powers represents like a branch of science. So like one kid's power is about mass, the other kid's velocity, one kid is energy. So like the laws of physics. And so even in that, like the way their powers work and the way they have to use their powers in conjunction to solve problems, it's really, really, really well done. And yeah, it was good back then and it's good now. But they rebooted it recently. I can't seem to get into it.
All right.
The old issues are fantastic.
So do you think the Captain Planet gang did grow up to become the Magic School Bus crew?
Yeah, I saw that. Dude, it's like so right on every character.
Likely, yes. I'd say that would fall into that very likely. My son is watching Magic School Bus these days, so I didn't see that. It wasn't my generation, but I'm watching it now, and it's hilarious. It's really funny. Those characters are. Yeah, that was
so Zayd, what are your thoughts on Earthbound?
Oh, I loved Earthbound. I haven't beat it, and it's one of the older ones. Older games I haven't beat, but I love the flavor. I loved a more kind of recent game inspired by that would be Undertale. I really enjoyed Undertale's quirkiness with things. It's not really the first time we've seen a mechanic where you can talk your way out of conflicts or anything, but
yeah,
it had a very nice, wholesome message behind it all. But once you beat it with that pacifist run, that's when the game really starts to say, okay, well, do you want to replay it? And the act of replaying it means the happy ending you just gave for everybody is now going to twist its side. Like the game consciously knows you're playing it a second time.
Oh, that's
it knows you're reloading. It makes you think about your next playthrough being a genocide mission or a run through. You're basically destroying their happy ending that you gave them first. So there's a lot of just meta messages with that game. And I'm always into the meta again from Final Fantasy. You know, I believe Squall did in Final Fantasy VIII. Even though they said he wasn't, I'm like, the story's much better if he's dead. Trust me, it's one of those Vanilla Sky kind of stories,
right?
With it, but tech support. So, I'm sorry. What was that question? I kind of rambled.
About Earthbound. I finished. Well,
yeah, isn't that the other name for it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite RPG of all time. I played RPGs until the end of the PlayStation, the original PlayStation's life cycle. Yeah, I didn't keep up. I wasn't a fan of the X games, although I've heard they're good, but I didn't try them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots. I did a lot of the. I mean, I was a kid at the time, so movie store rentals. You would rent the crap out of everything you could, like 20 times a year. So
yeah.
But even in those, like Metroid, the first time I played that, and the ending where it was revealed, a very powerful female character, I was like,
right. That blew me away when I was a kid.
It was awesome. Yes, I was fine. I was like, heck yeah. I didn't even think about it like that. It was just like this. What a reveal.
Well, you had so many different heroines in that time. Like you had Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor and
Yeah.
So it's just like the continuation.
Now, I've actually talked to someone about that part, about is like, there are a lot of these amazing characters out there, and I started mentioning, Ridley and all that, and it's like everyone always mentions that. It's like, it's because it's a good example.
Yeah, exactly. That's like one of the best examples. Like, she's so believable,
Right.
And the thing with Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor is like they weren't badasses at the beginning. They earned it,
Mm-hmm. So
they went through something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
What about the Silence of the Lambs? I mean, that whole movie, the way it's even directed is basically, this is, a strong woman in the in the position she was in. But man, you can't get away with too many movies stretching down that way anymore. And even if it is a good message, so I just love to create and keep coming up with new ways of bringing those fresh ideas back out to new IPs and everything without handing it to it. Like you said, earn it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, that's again back to my character Anel for Beckend is. I don't know if earning is the right way of saying it. More like and. The other thing with Taj is people were going, oh, that's a trope. That means he's some special chosen one with some special power or birth. Or nope. I specifically wrote him not to be overpowered. I specifically wrote it where you would relate to him more than anybody else in the story, because we don't know what magic is, or I mean, we do. Mm-hmm. Can we do it? What if we were actually in a world where we had to do that? We would be just estranged with it. So yeah, it's Taj's arc is much more tragic in the long run, but not in Beckend. Beckend, it's I'll still say it's still kind of tragedy, but it's not like he dies in Beckend or anything. So, sorry, I can't kill a kid, but and there's a little bit of personal reasons why they're that age. Why it's this time I'm putting this out. There was a time I was going to be a dad, and it didn't happen. And so Beckend was a way that I could kind of start, I don't know, raising something, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And now I've got, 6 of them,
Yeah, right.
6 little ankle biters on an adventure. So I'm loving doing it, loving exploring. I'm loving sharing it and hearing people's excitement, and especially with just, with this group that everybody's been so well, like they've been nice to me, and I've been in other places where they haven't been nice. Oh, the biggest self-awareness moment. I don't know if you guys watched like Flagrant 2 or know what those comedians are, but I had a what a fucking idiot moment. Was I posted some stuff somewhere without knowing what the space was, and it didn't work out well. And I saw a post on there, and they were like, all right, so we're just posting this here because we like to watch people rip into games. And it went right over my head. And so I go and read for 2-3 pages, like these horrible comments. Funny too, funny, good stuff. But I was so like self-conscious about it, so I ended up replying to it. It was a long, very, very professional sounding thing, and the guys are like, who would have thought this would happen again? Does anyone remember in the Cosmic what a star guy came in here? And I was like, all right, think about that for a second. Oh, I get the dumb. Lay on. This is, I get the joke now. Keep going. I'm never coming back here again. Just keep going. So you learn your lessons. But it for me, it's going back again. Like, if you don't try, you won't get there. So don't be afraid to fail. You might get a little bit of
bruised up here and there, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, if somebody tells you can't do it, I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah.
That's a sign you're on the right path. Right?
Spite for me takes over when I'm...
And then, somebody was like talking to Luke Stoney. He's like, yeah, I got these people hating on me. And I'm like, yeah, that means you're getting traction, man. Nobody hates on you until you actually start to take a hold,
Yeah.
You actually start to make a dent. Then people decide to come after you. So definitely, be ready for that moment if you're lucky.
Yeah, I'm prepped. I'm prepped more than I should be now. So, precautions, just making sure the flanks are protected. But I didn't think of that beforehand. It's like, this ain't gonna hit off like that. Like, who would care? But
I'm doing a profile now. Looks like the chin is too small, or the paper's angled on. I better revisit that. Yeah, who knows? Drawing a profile is hard. What was I thinking? I already did my 2 pictures, so this is my bonus sketch. It doesn't really have to be that perfect. Yeah, this is just for fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, you guys, we're going to wrap up the stream in just 4 minutes. So, for those of you watching along at home, what are our takeaway? Carla Tornielli, she's the mangaka mom. You should subscribe to her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And you should learn about what it's like to be making manga. And also, Carla, before you were on, I know you're listening in the chat, we were talking about Spanish language comics creators. And both me and JB, we believe that Spanish language comics creators is going to be, when the time is right, it's going to explode.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
In gaming and indie gaming, like Spanish teams are making things like Blasphemous. Like the creators coming out of some really awesome places, Guacamelee, they're there. Yeah. When do they pop up in the comics?
So I know that there was a CG Espanol for a while, and I just feel like a lot of the people that are affiliated in that crowd, man, I just had nothing but love and respect for all you guys. And there's going to come a time when indie comics in Spanish, and it hits and it connects and it finds its readership, it's going to be huge. And I want to be there, man. I want to have my comic El Sure Shot, I want to be there. And just, there's so much power because you know what, so much of this geek culture goes right over other cultural walls and barriers, You meet someone that they speak a different language from a different country, and then as soon as you find out you both love whatever anime, you both love Star Wars, both love whatever, boom, you connected. Both love Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
That's a connection that just takes over, crosses like all barriers. So comics are that great medium where it's like a movie that you can hand someone and say, watch my movie, and then 10 minutes later they put it down like, dude, your movie's awesome. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing ever, where you can take someone on that ride and they can sort of see the adventure through your eyes a little bit and then see it through your own eyes. So I just think that to all you Spanish language comics creators in the indieverse right now, the days that are ahead are going to be huge. The days that are ahead are going to be huge. I really, really believe that. And I want to be part of it, even though, I'm not a Spanish speaker myself, but, there's some parts of my family that connect. And, you don't need to know all the juicy details, but I have some parts of my family where Spanish was the first language. And I still do. And so I think it's cool. And then we were talking about man, if you had a book and in the Spanish language version of it found its readership and was strong, man, it's a hop, skip, and a jump to Italian, Brazilian, Portuguese. You know what I mean? Like boom, boom, boom. The dominoes could fall really fast once you have that first big hit. So let's look forward to that sometime soon, all right? And Carla, I hope sometime soon we can talk to you live and tell us, when we post our art from this stream, you can post in that stream and just give people an update on Witch Hunter, what's going on, what they can do. The campaign's still in demand. Let's just see if we can get some eyes on that. I know since you had your baby, you haven't been able to promote it as strongly and fiercely, and that's awesome, man. Babies are the best.
Is it in demand already?
I think it's already in demand.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So, but it's one of those things where like in-demand campaigns can get forgotten too.
Yes.
And she's got a young one in her life, and I know how that feels. And it's like, yeah, that's the thing. We want to make sure that we keep eyes on that, and then look forward to what next thing comes out of White Cat Studios. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to show mine. Let's do a little quick art roundup. So this is just in the last 10 minutes, I pulled out this little portfolio. I can't even speak. Profile. That's not bad, actually.
That's awesome.
And then it's on the same page, so you can get the little turnaround. Oh, I'm worried. Yes. What if he doesn't love me? I know. But he's the enemy hero. What if we fall in love? Oh, no. So there we go. Animation.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put up JP.
He's gonna make his movie yet.
There it is. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm glad you did more with the legs, because the legs are just really solid, don't you think?
Yes.
The legs just like ka-chunk, they really ground the image, and they just look cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely want to finish this one.
Finish that one. That's badass. I love it. All right, and then let me see if I can put up.
Half-quarter turn is really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got my third kid snuck in there in the back, so I'm on.
Hey, can you what software are we looking at here?
Photoshop. So
I've been known to gripe and complain that Photoshop comics all look the same because they use the same filters and the same color palettes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when I see somebody like you doing something where it just looks utterly different, it gets me so
it does.
Happy. It gets me so happy. That the fact that I couldn't look at that and have any clue what software you use, I had no idea. That's good.
Awesome.
That's like a win. That's a win right there.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys like my stuff. I'm especially happy sharing it. And
but look at the clothes. Look at the clothes, dude. Oh.
So you said you're just an illustrator. You're not a concept artist?
Yeah, I'm everything basically.
Yeah, this is this is concept art right here.
I'm doing everything for it. Everything visual for backend, including the web design and even the Indiegogo. That's all me. My brother programs it. I write it and design it.
Dude, that creature too is like.
Yeah, the moth. I love it. Yeah,
it's like a moth, and he has how many different limbs, and almost like a moth and a monkey.
Yeah. Actually, the first of her kind to wander away from her home, which works off of pheromones where they all think with hive mind. And so she's experiencing for the first time having her own awareness.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's a really cool story. Deep. All right, guys, it is 1:03 in the Eastern time zone. We're going to wrap this up. This has been a very easy and laid-back episode. I would like to say that Tales of Zero was scheduled to launch a couple days ago, but we moved our launch date to March 4th. That's the only day in the English language where the date is a complete sentence. So March 4th, and get yourself on that mailing list, everybody. This isn't a promo stream where we just browbeat the campaigns, but maybe we should. Maybe we'll grow. Maybe we'll learn. We'll learn how to sell more and draw less. But right now we're in the draw more and sell less mode. For anybody watching this out of YouTube land, hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. If you drew anything along, post it on the Twitter on my page, PurpleSmurf13. And we'll just keep it going. We're building a little art gallery, and maybe you're seeing someone on this show who you would want to hire to do a cover for you, or a pinup for you, or sequential art for you. So let's let this show continue to be a chill place. Everybody hang out. Everybody have fun. Artists meet, creators meet, promote campaigns. Tonight, we want you all to look at White Cat Comics, Witch Hunter by Carla Tornielli, and also Star Circuit launching today by Mr. Joe Catapano. Is that right?
Yep.
Awesome. And then, of course, back Tales of Zero. Get on the mailing list, and we're going to launch in a couple weeks on March 4th. So awesome, you guys. Thanks so much. Let's close up the broadcast. Thank everybody in the chat. And we'll see you again next week. We're going to be entering the Mythoverse. Our guests will be Matt Trin and Dan Sakharov. And I'll promote that so everybody can take a look at their work. If you haven't heard of them before, they're really awesome people doing a really cool thing. So we'll get to meet them and hear about their creative process. All right, take care, you guys. Have a good evening.
All right.
And Carlos, thank you for being with us.
Later, guys.